What is up, hammerheads? Welcome back to the campsite. Today we're building a fire with Flint. Oh, Flint. Flint, a steel, and some char cloth. Stay tuned. All right, guys, before we get going, I'm gonna point out what I have down here on my fire lay. Right here, I have where I keep my fire up off the ground. The ground's not super damp. I just always like putting a little bit of stuff underneath it to help with airflow. I have my tinder bundle here. I have my starting wood, which isn't kindling to me. I always use it just more for part of the tinder bundle, but it's the really small pencil lead stuff and almost to the size of a pencil stuff all mixed together. Then I have my kindling, and then I have my bigger wood over here. So we're gonna go through all this. I've got a little bit more I'm gonna baton down on some cedar that I found for more kindling and more starter wood. But I'll show you that process also, guys. All right, guys, something else I'm doing is I'm making a feather stick on a couple of these. Feather sticks are really handy on an increasing surface area if you want something to burn. So just doing something like that right there all the way around your stick will help increase your surface area so you can catch a flame a lot easier. All right, guys, so I got my charred material right here. I've got a decent sized piece because I got to walk over to where the fire is. I like using a frayed edge to catch my spark. It just seems like it catches it better. Oh, got it. Wasn't even in the spot I was aiming for, but I caught it right here, guys. You see it? Burning right there. All right, let's go over here to our tinder bundle. Ugh. All right. Get you in here close. All right. I got my tinder bundle right here. Make sure I got it on camera. And I've showed how to blow these into flames before, guys, but roll it over on itself and then get your stuff and lay it on top. Fire likes chaos, guys. Get it over here. See, everything's starting to try to catch up. And you do layers. Once you bust through the first layer with flames, then you start adding your other stuff. But yeah, we're going right there, guys. When you're cold and in a bad situation, guys, this right here is something that will save your life time and time again, is being able to use a flint and steel. Depending on the size of the stone you have and what kind of knife you have, I can show that technique too, which I have showed whenever I was doing the pocket companion video on how to strike it off the back of a knife. But just like that, guys, we got a fire going. Move this back away. And that right there took us in real time, start to finish, about a minute to get the fire started. I didn't show the part, guys, where I was walking around collecting all the stuff to build the fire. Now, that took me about 30 minutes. So as you're hiking, and if you know you might be getting in if you realize you got yourself in a bad situation, you know, I mean, things happen. Pick up things as you're going. Pick up tinder material so it'll stay dry. Keep it in your pocket if it is damp so it can get dry. All those things can increase your making a fire, your chances of making a fire a lot better, guys. All right, guys, let's get real for a minute and talk about what we learned today. Well, we learned how to build a fire with flint and steel. Now, as I was saying in the video, guys, it took us about a minute to build the fire, but it took me about 30 minutes to walk around and get everything prepped. I had to go find dry wood, dry tinder, different things around my yard and the back part of my property to build the fire with. Yes, you did see me use bamboo because I have a small bamboo grove on my property that me and my daughter built some lean-tos with years ago, and it's finally time to tear them down, so I'm using some of it for firewood. If you use bamboo, be careful, it is sharp. Stab the snot out of me. But guys, let's talk about stones for a minute. Not every stone will throw a spark. Some stones are very soft and are not hard enough to pull material off of your steel. You got to remember, you're not throwing sparks off of your stone, it's coming off of your steel. It's microscopic pieces that they ignite once they hit the oxygen. That's what causes the spark. Now, I always, no matter where I go, I carry a tin. I carry some char cloth already in the tin, but I carry one of the little tins. You can make more than enough char cloth to make quite a few fires in these. A cheap bandana, as long as it's 100% cotton, works well. Blue jean material, denim blue jean, that's 100% cotton, especially like thicker material like the work jeans, like Carhartts and things like that. They work really well on making char. Canvas, I'd said in the last video when I had done these that I hadn't used canvas before. A friend of mine gave me a really thick piece of like military grade canvas that he had, and it worked amazing. So if you can find you some 100% cotton canvas, that works really well. And it does really good frayed edges on it, because the more surface area you have, the better you're going to catch a spark. I'm making sure I hit all my points, guys, because I don't want to miss anything. And I might have said this, but I want to reiterate it. As you're hiking or whatever, and you realize you're in a bad situation, and I said this a little bit in the video too, but or while I was building the fire in the video, while you're walking, as you notice material that's good for fire making, like tinder, that's a good dry material, go ahead and start collecting along the way and keep it in your bag or keep it in your pocket, so if it is a little damp, it can dry out and you have a better chance and better success at making a fire. And again, guys, I always start off with what I call starter wood, which is anything that is smaller, around pencil lead size. Then I go into my kindling, which is about the size of a pencil. Then I go into some of my fuel, which is the size of my thumb. Then once all that part, the fuel part, is burning, then I go into my main fuel, which is my forearm or bigger. Generally, your hand can wrap around it. You know what I'm saying, guys? Then that is what you're going to sustain your fire with. Another point that I'm going to make, guys, before I close: conserve your resources of fire making. So if you are building your fire and you're having to build it every day, you're not maintaining your fire well. You need to make sure that when you wake up the next morning, or you're waking up a couple times throughout the night, to keep the fire going. Especially if you're not moving from that spot, you always want to only have to build a fire once, then you maintain it. Now, you can't help weather, bad things happen, but you don't want to use up all of your resources building a fire every day. I see this in a lot of survival shows, and a lot of things where every day they were getting their ferro rod out and they were building a fire. A lot of the people were every day was having to build a new fire every day, and they were wasting that resource. You need to build your fire once and then maintain it. So find you like a bigger punky log that you know will burn and smolder all night, and then you build off of that the next day. But guys, I'm sure I missed a couple of key points. I was just wanting to do a quick, cool little video showing how to use flint and steel. These will be up on my website, and you can also pick them up at the knife shop at Frost Cutlery. It's actually, the name changed. It's the Knife Shop and Survival Outpost now. Just throwing that out there for if anybody's looking it up in the future. They're changing over to be the Knife Shop and Survival Outpost. Again, great sponsors of the channel. But if you would like to pick up a fire kit and you're in the Ooltewah area, that's a place you can go and pick it up. These will be on my website soon, and it won't be they'll be individually on there because all of them are different. I test every one. I make sure every one of them will strike. And then I try to do more videos, if you want me to, guys, on going into more detail on the striking process and and the technique on how to do that. But guys, that's the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one. God bless. Keep hammering.